what is more important after bariatric surgery when it comes to hitting protein targets or indeed hitting calories? This is a question that comes up quite a lot, and I'm going to give you every bit of information you'll ever need to make sure that you maximize the potential of your weight loss journey post-procedure. Now, the truth be told is they kind of work with each other. But what I would say to answer the question straight away in this video, I'm not one of these people that's going to make you hang on to the answer or anything like that. For the first 3 to 6 months, I would really double down on protein, okay? And the reason being is because when we are below protein targets, I'm going to touch on that in a second, health negatives can really start to occur. So people talk about 60 grams in the first 6 weeks post-procedure. If we are under that for a period of time, so we're hitting 30, 40, now it's quite common that people who are of the obese category are not getting enough protein in their diet. Protein is very metabolic and it's very filling. That's a great combination towards diet. And the fact that, and there are of course other layers to this, but the fact that perhaps people have gone into the obese category suggests that they're not particularly full, and indeed the metabolism not aided in their weight maintenance or indeed weight loss, etc. So protein is exceptional for diet, it's exceptional for weight loss, but like I said, there are other health negatives. Cell reproduction. If protein's too low, things like your hair doesn't start to regrow. Muscle mass. So our muscle mass can start to go down. We can get weaker, which ironically makes weight loss look better. But remember, the whole goal of this whole process is actually fat loss. We don't want to lose muscle mass. We don't want to dehydrate ourselves, and not eating enough protein will lead to muscle mass loss. This can lead to things like loose skin, but probably more importantly, it can make us get weaker. And also long term, if we start to lose muscle, again, it makes us less metabolic. We burn less calories at rest. So long term, it means that weight loss is going to get a bit harder if we start to lose muscle mass. That's why lifting weights is a very good thing to do as well post-procedure, at the right time once your incisions have healed. But indeed, optimal protein from the get-go during the LRD and beyond is a habit we want to start building. And it's extremely achievable. It is extremely achievable. It's underestimated how much actually the amount we ask for isn't that much. This is not a high protein diet. It really is a case of just trying to hit the right amount of protein diet. Those early stages, 60 grams, this tends to be the sort of target. 60 to 80, I tend to say. But every gram of protein is only 4 calories. So we're actually only asking people to hit 240 calories worth of protein in the first few weeks. Of course, there's an open mind that some days are going to be better than others. The liquid, the puree, the soft can provide challenges in their own right. But try to hit that number, making protein present in each meal, thinking about protein first. So, looking at plates and looking, I'm going to have the protein first out of this because it's one of the most optimal things to have. Super, super important. And then over the course of time, we want to build to sort of 60 to 80 grams, maybe even after a few months or so, 80 to 100 grams. Even 100 grams of protein is only 4 calories. It's only 400 calories. Now, when patients are 9, 12 months post-procedure, it's extremely common they're eating 12 to 1400 calories, particularly if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, i.e. living an active lifestyle, exercising. This aids us to eat more over time, which is a good thing. This is not, let's eat as little as possible for as long as possible. This is, sure, in the early stages, there is an element of not eating very much, losing aggressive amounts of weight, which means that movements can be less painful, which means we can explore new things, confidence goes in the right direction, and we start to fuel an active lifestyle, ideally lifting weights alongside it. And when people do that, it's quite common people can go 12, 14, 1500 calories, which is an exceptional place to be around 12 months post-procedure. But that being said, if you're shooting for 50 grams of protein, so only 200 calories, and you're eating 1500, well, that's not a high protein diet. That's not a prioritizing protein diet. It's actually an exceptionally low protein diet on the percentages. It's less than 10%. So what we want to do is ideally be growing towards having 80 to 100 grams of protein, maybe around that 1500 calorie mark, depending on where you're at. But like I say, you're being active at the same time. That's absolutely key. If someone's eating 1500 calories and not moving very much, it depends what their weight is, but they might find that weight will stall a bit more accordingly. And of course, that metabolism piece I mentioned earlier on is very, very relevant. So for the first, I would say 6 months, I'd be thinking protein. Protein's also very filling, and with the restrictive tools, sleeve, bypass, band, balloon, you'll just find that the calories alongside prioritizing meals will fall into the right category to allow yourself to be in a deficit. Lots of people would actually lose body fat of the obese category at 2,000, 2,500 calories. But of course, we'll be coming in quite a bit lower than that. We'll be losing 2 to 3 pounds a week for a period of time. But of course, as we get lighter, weight loss gets harder. This is where calories might be more relevant further down the road. So the idea is that we build the protein habit. It's just what we do, 80 to 100 grams. But of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're in a calorie deficit. Very, very likely, but not necessarily guaranteed. So as we starting to lose weight, as weight loss is getting a bit harder, maybe being a bit more specific around our calories could make sense. And that can live in tracking. It can look at just looking at food groups more, making small changes. I'm a massive advocate of that. So say, for example, somebody is 20 stone and they've lost 6, 7 stone. Because someone's lighter, it means they're burning less calories at rest. Again, the goal is to eat more calories over the course of time, which means the threshold of deficit is getting smaller. And that's where maybe being slightly more specific around your calories could make sense. I'm an advocate of tracking at the right time when it's done correctly. So again, not to eat as little as possible for as long as possible, but to fuel an active lifestyle. And that's where calories can become a bit more relevant, tracking, making sure you're in a deficit. There is 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. Maybe a 500 calorie deficit per day for 7 days to lose 1 pound a week could be a really good place to start. It depends on where you're at. Like if you're heavier, you could potentially take advantage of a 1,000 calorie deficit per day, 7,000 calories per week, which is 2 pounds of fat. So that, beyond everything else, is the route towards whether it's protein or calories. I would say the first few months protein, then with a view to optimizing calories over the course of time. But beyond all this, beyond the specifics of protein and calories, an open mind to exploring, an open mind to try and error, an open mind to learning new things. If you got this far in the video, thank you, because this is somebody who is looking to progress and get better with this stuff. It took me a long time to get my head around it. You see a lot of people just drinking protein shakes and thinking they're going to get massive and big and strong. You know, I've been training for 10 years, eating the right amount of protein for 10 years. And while I think I'm all right, I'm not going to be Arnie anytime soon. There's a misconception towards protein. It's super valuable towards diet. It's super valuable towards our health. And the truth be told is if people aren't thinking about it, there's a good chance maybe they're not getting enough. And that can create other health negatives, but also not aid weight loss very nicely because it means we're not full and it means that metabolism is going to be not go in the right direction over the course of time. I hope that helped. I hope that helps you navigate this journey a bit better. They're both important, is the truth be told, but I would be doing it that way around to optimize your journey the best as possible over the course of time. All the best for me. I look forward to seeing you soon.